적의 공격까지 30초.
What these guys have planned for us here. As X6 get ready to start things off on this attack. KongDoo Panthera looks like we might just have the treehouse set up. Maybe on the mid-ground. No Mei coming through to wall them up into the actual treehouse. So yeah, we'll just be this mid-ground setup here with the bridge.
And this is kind of a KongDoo Panthera.
We can just call him KongThera. Why not?
It's a KongThera exclusive because you can put Decay on the Widow, Ding flexes over to the D.Va, which he's, used to be playing exclusively a lot last season. And then you have this triple tank solo DPS that still runs both supports, and you have the damage boosting plus discords. Hard to dive this as X6, to be honest.
Oh, no, Smite looking to come up over the top. Trying to break them down, but a hook's going to come through. Roadhog has that Discord Orb on, but it doesn't matter. Decay follows up with the headshot. Takes out No Smite.
It's such a sustainable comp in terms of tanks as well. And like, coming through this against right clicks from the Roadhog is just always going to be painful. So Rhea's got his work cut out for him in terms of what he needs to do with his defense matrix.
Oh, Roki. You sneaky little mercy.
Yeah,
tries to get out of there. The Hulk comes back down, but yeah, okay, he will make it out with his life. Jin pushing forward yet again, just getting those right clicks in onto Rhea's neck, chunking him down as best as he can. What minutes that Genji at? Here are those shurikens. Blister sneaking his way around the back. Going to be having this Dragon Blade very shortly, especially if we keep getting this poke.
He also just scouted where the supports are, and they're his target, right? Like, once he gets the blade, he needs to be able to follow up and hit them. This isn't going to be the push.
He stays alive, but yeah, now No Smite's going to be eliminated yet again. Roki, not sure if he's going to be able to get into position for a res, but they alleviate a lot of pressure by getting rid of Decay there with that Widowmaker. Dragon Blade's going to be down. Deflection has to be burned. Glister jumping to the side. Might be a bit of an air blade coming down. Will manage to find Luffy, but Rhea's going to be taken out and eliminated. Rez comes back through, putting that Zenyatta right back in. And Glister, despite his best efforts, gonna get hooked, gonna get taken down, shotgun to the face.
That was a Guido blade right there. That was not correct. That was, I saw opportunity, I saw it, even though we were down on members. Ends up with nothing. Wastes the blade. It took him so long to build, unfortunately. And that was just not what we need in this situation from X6. Very wasteful, barely got the kill, dies immediately afterwards with no teammates to support him.
X6 still trying to push forward. Transcendence used by both of these Zenyatas. Self-destruct up into the air from Rhea, looking for a pick-off, but doesn't find anything. Blister, however, does follow up, takes down Luffy yet again. Not sure if Koma's going to be able to get the res this time out. Jin's dead, Supercharger going to be eliminated. Koma's going to get Goomba stomped by No Smite as X6 finally explode forth, break the defense here from the side of KongDoo Panthera, and should be able to get this cap. Okay, just trying to buy some time, trying to make it out of here with his life, but it's not going to happen. Glister has a nice deflection, picks him out, and now has a Dragon Blade to maybe help snowball this cap onto B, but he's going to be the only one with an ult, so seems highly unlikely.
Let's see what happens in terms of Young Jin. Right now, he is holding the Roadhog, which is going to be for a whole hog. That could be very similar to the Riptide in terms of defensive peel. But I think that we will see the swap to the Junkrat right afterwards. Just defending against this initial Dragon Blade is going to be the key here. The first one didn't do what they wanted, but it gave them enough momentum. The second one could just get them B if they cannot shut it down. No Transcendence is the most important thing here. X6 knows this.
Jump to the side, No Smite taking a bit of damage. She tries to weaken Young Jin, just trying to spray up to get that Primal Rage ready to go. Again, Roar just kind of going to be back and forth, building up to that ult. Godspeed here on this Brigitte. Shields up, starts pushing forward. Glister going into the back, has the Dragon Blade drawn out, looking for Luffy, and he'll get taken down first, right off the start of the fight, but No Smite is answered for. Trade on the Winston as Glister finds another kill, and Rez will bring No Smite back in, and Roar as well. So right now it's going to be two members down for KongDoo Panthera. Luffy just now respawning. Decay still a bit further away. Roar trying to stay alive. The healing is just not going to be enough. Rhea able to take him down with the rockets. Self-destruct out from Ding, looks for a pick, doesn't find it, makes it back in, and Rhea's got one of his own. Should he need to use it, and he will, pinning it right into the corner, trying to find a pick-up, but will not get it. Young Jin, I assume he finds the hook there on Naroki, eliminates the Mercy, so now no more reses here, but 2 ticks already gained for the side of X6 on this very strong push, and there's still 4 minutes remaining in the time bank. He pops the Transcendence, just trying to keep things alive as Godspeed will go ahead and throw down the rally. They're in, they're capping this one right now. Side of KongDoo needs to start contesting. Roar comes back in, Primal Range half expired, just knocking Godspeed away from the fight. Rez comes through, Decay, the Dragon Blade of his own, finds Glister, finds Roki, tries to get a little bit more, but gets stunned up from behind, and Rhea comes up with a kill. Hook it onto the back. Young Jin tries to break Rhea out, tries to get that stagger onto the D.Va, but seems like they will not be able to find it. They managed to hold off X6, but there's a Dragon Blade, there's a Transcendence coming through. They've already gotten 85.5%.
And in these long fights, Glister's actually building these Dragon Blades pretty quickly. He's just been able to do massive damage against the comp of KongDoo Panthera. His dash alone will build so much of a Dragon Blade, and he is getting those off onto multiple heroes here. Gonna have to step back for a moment, but X6 may have overextended here. Here comes the Blade, chasing the Mercy.
Coming down, looking for that backline dive. Luffy's got some armor, it's helping to keep him alive, and that final swipe will take him down despite the pocket coming out of coma. Roki falling, however, as does Godsby. So down just to Bebe, and he'll be eliminated. It's just gonna be a stomp coming through for KongDoo Panthera.
Really good swap here for Youngjin. Well timed. He actually got so much done with the Roadhog because he was constantly hiding. One of the things I was watching in those two big team fights were, where is Youngjin? He's getting these hooks. He actually hid in the spawn a lot of the time. He went into the left side doorway there and was hiding over there. And at the last moment, where it matters most, he switches over to the Brigitte, gets the armor to help keep the supports alive, then gets the stuns off there onto the dive. Luffy picks Godsby here, and suddenly what looked like a dire situation is now a stabilized KongDoo Panthera.
Yeah, still high percentage, still have those 2 ticks, so with 2 minutes remaining, they certainly could get in on the point. Decay right now just trying to spam up, get that Dragon Blade ready to go. Now has it. Snow Smite falls down to about half HP, but we'll be having that Primal Rage very soon. But with Godsby falling yet again, it's either going to force the res from Roki, or they're just going to have to kite back and try to stay alive. But you can see that's the welcoming call for KongDoo Panthera to push forward, try to get some staggers.
Yeah, and now with the counter Dragon Blade here for Decay, the armor, he's like, oh god, don't do that without me! Give me that rally! He's Swift Strike.
I need it!
I need that armor! They have the big 6, I mean, sure, Youngjin just used it, but I mean, you can see they still have it, man. It's that armor and the hit point bars across the top of your UI. Long range armor here for Decay, allowing him to play forward like this. And he's just constantly looking to threaten the support line, force out the Transcendence early before they can approach the point.
Oh, Bebe, gonna get eliminated. See if Roki can get into a position to try to res, poking down off the top side is Godsby.
They know
build up for that barrage.
There's no trance right now, so they could actually pull the Blade out, but there is a res available for Roki. Everything's still good here for X6 in terms of the war chest. They didn't use anything. Close call there, but time is running out right now. As we approach this, there's still armor up across the board on the side of KongDoo. So how do you make this one push happen efficiently? It's going to be the Winston to lead.
Dive in onto Luffy. He's not going to get to use that Transcendence. He is just going to die off the bat. Godsby finds the kill. Dragon Blade out from Decay, however, cuts down that Pharah, looking for a little bit more, but Bebe's just going to out-trade him in point-blank range. Eliminates him, but the Youngjin follow-up is there. Get rid of that enemy Zenyatta. So both Zenyatta's going to be dying, neither using Transcendence.
It feels like a loss actually for X6 because even though they killed Luffy, they just couldn't find a way to use the Blade. Youngjin's positioning again was too good. He shuts down Bebe. You can see Glister's looking to pull it out, but he's like, Youngjin's just too much health. Yep. Koma's pocketing him. I can't kill the Brigitte, so I can't pull my Blade. Now the Transcendence is still there for the defense.
They still could get this cap, but it's not going to be with much time in the bank. Actually, it's going to be more than likely overtime as Youngjin plays forward. Rally's going to be ready. Youngjin pops that one immediately. Self-destruct out from Rhea, finds Koma. Looking to invest that big Hero 6. Shout out to Disney, thanks for the investment. DK now going forward. Bebe going to get eliminated. Can't use that Transcendence yet again. Godsby falling low. Will get taken down. The res has to be used by Roki. Brings it Zenyatta back into the fight, and he has to pop the Transcendence immediately to get in onto the point. They're pushing up. 85.6% here, trying to exceed it. Glister trying to pop up with a Dragon Blade. Comes up with multiple kills. Rhea now going forward. Roki going to get taken down, though, by Roar with that Primal Rage. No Spike just trying to stay in, trying to hide inside of his bubble, but he is going to get shield bashed in. He's going to get taken down. And the members of X6 just going to get eliminated as a stream in onto the point. OT going to take away 91.6% in the end. X6 cannot get the completion here on Temple of Anubis.
There were some really iconic players last season at Achilios. There really were. Players like Jexe, who had this perfect sound barrier for every EMP. Guard, who was able to hit perfect EMPs. BQB, building EMPs faster. There was a set meta, and there were players that shined on the heroes. Haksal was still the best Genji, right? You know, best Mercy, that was a little bit more debatable. But we had Bumper, one of the better Winstons. And there were clear, I feel like, icons of each hero. You could point to a player and say, this is the best player on this hero or best at this play style. And right before we started the season, I was asking myself, who's going to be the Brigitte? We have that Brigitte. It's Youngjin. He is always in the right spot. He's always giving the heals and the armor to the right player. I think we can now definitively say Youngjin is the best Brigitte in this tournament. We saw him play so well on it. Got the MVP across the board, pretty much everybody on top 6 on the Korean side. because of his Brigitte play. He was listed as support even by them because of how he played it. And now as we're watching him on these defenses, both on Eichenwald and now here on Anubis, without his phenomenal play, positioning, and his long-range heals, Decay doesn't have as much success. The support line doesn't live as long. He doesn't keep the team sustained to win these fights without the heals. I think the guy is just playing Brigitte exactly as she's meant to be played in all aspects, hitting his combos, hitting the stuns, providing sustained healing, being in the right spot. And part of that's from Coma, who keeps him pocketed up. He actually pockets the Brigitte more than he pockets the tanks, more than he pockets the Genji, because if Youngjin lives, he makes such a large impact. And, you know, this map is not over by any means, but, you know, what looked to be really dire situations for KongDoo Panthera were really turned around by this player.
Well, full treehouse here for the side of X6. As they move over onto the defense. Godspeed, Widow, Schlöder with the Junkrat as anticipated. Will be Decay starting things off with the Genji. As Roar and Coma both get chunked out. Spine's coming in. Godspeed finds the first shot. Coma getting his head taken off.
Yep, this is going to be a slowed push, fortunately.
Oh, it's another one. The Holt comes in. Beautifully done, Godspeed. Practicing again. With these Holt headshot combos. Going to be boosted up by Roki. A massive amount of damage coming through from this Widow as they look for another, but no one's playing close enough to get grabbed up.
KongDoo Panthera slow on the charge here. Looks like we're going to see a backdoor Genji here, potentially attempting to find Godspeed. The attention here is on the tanks right now. They've seen him. They're looking for him. He's going to take a different approach, though. They're safe for the time being.
Nearly has that infra sight.
There he is.
Sneaks around the back, but he gets spotted. Rhea finds him. Reflection going to be used. Going to be sitting in underneath the treehouse top. But we know Spike getting dove on. Pocket coming through, trying to keep him alive, but Decay finds Godspeed, finds Roki. And then mess up this fight up top on the high ground. And Youngjin from the side, Bebe, looking at the Genji, just gets an arrow right to the knee. Youngjin follows up on the nose smite. And that is going to be the wipe coming through as KongDoo Panthera will very swiftly get a cap onto A. 6.5 minutes about on the clock for them to exceed 91.6%.
Bebe is at 48% of a Transcendence, but he wishes he was 42% or 52% rather closer to that Transcendence as this comes in. Youngjin going to make the swap here, tosses out the Dragon Strike just for show. He was hoping the observers caught that. Well, they did. So he's going back to his best hero here. I think you could all watch this and agree with me. Anyone watching this at home is going to agree. This guy's the best Brigitte right now. The Riptire's their best line of defense against the Dragon Blade. So Glister's going to have to use it well here. He's tracking the Genji right now. He sees him off to the left, getting into a position to use it right now.
Spots him out. Dash is going to be used. Okay, Blade coming down. So going to go ahead and get rid of Godspeed, and that's going to be the Brigitte. Gone gets the tire as well, slashes it right out of existence, and Glister will go down. Decay comes up with the double kill. Now gets the melee swing on the nose smite. Just keeps seeing to the back of the catacombs there as that self-destruct comes down, but now can push back through. Looking for Roki, takes him down. Decay, it's all about him. Pushes forward, gets rid of Bebe with the help of Roar. They're in onto the point, getting ready to gain that first tick as the kills just keep spilling over. It's reset after reset for the Genji. Primal Rage going to be used by Nosebite, but he is all on his lonesome. The Discord Orb going to be coming down. He gets chunked out, ripped to bits. Still not going to be dead. Still no ticks coming in, though. So the streaming from X6, one after the other, does buy them a lot of time and halts us from being as impactful of a push from KongDoo Panthera, but they are still healthy. They are still in onto this point for this play. But getting rid of Youngjin with this swap from Glister does do them a little bit of favors here.
Glister surviving so long with his armor. The shields.
Down. Youngjin going to go down. Godspeed taken out by the Primal Rage. Now Roki, the only one alive, but he is not long for this world. Gets taken out. Decay finds another one, and that's just going to be it. KongDoo Panthera moving up 2-1 in this series. Absolutely smash him. Decay puts the team on the back of that Dragon Blade, and they cut through X6 like a hot knife through butter.
I mean, it was nasty. It was disgusting. It was dominance on the highest scale. The difference here being the Brigitte play. Godspeed dies in an instant. He dies immediately, and the blade pops up. You kill the Brigitte first, then you win the fight if your Genji is good enough. And where was this Decay last season? Where was this Decay in the first few weeks of regular season? I don't know, but I'm watching Youngjin 1v3 take on a Doomfist in that choke point there. Lives long enough for Decay to kill the squishies, and Decay is just flying through the air. KongDoo Panthera looked Godspeed in the eye and didn't even say any last words. They killed him immediately, and then the blade chopped the chances of X6 winning this match, it feels, into pieces. I mean, talk about a display of coordination at the highest level. I mean, this is, I think, inspiring play that we're seeing from KongDoo Panthera, and it's not what they're known for. It's actually dive. Yeah. Well executed with the Brigitte on attack, and X6 did not have the answer.
Absolutely wonderful from Decay. This guy ranking up as a Genji here in Contenders. Already the best Zarya that we have, but just goes in and just completely takes them away. Max is a noob. Well, if your name is Max and you're in the chat, I'm very sorry. You're now demoted to silver.
I mean, look, it was one time he said beautiful tracking. It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago.
That's true.
He said beautiful tracking.
Oh, Atlas.
And, you know, I mean, that was over a year ago now, okay? Like, we can let it go.
That was what, season 3? Season 3 of Apex?
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Yeah, because that was his first time casting. Not that day, I don't think, but, you know, that was the first season that he cast.
Yeah, maybe like second
Overwatch.
or third day, but...
So, but good times.
Good times. Beautiful tracking.
Always got to remember the beautiful tracking. But, whew! Good God, KongDoo Panthera. This is turning out to be quite the series in their favor, despite the fairly slow start with both Nepal with their loss and Eichenwald taking a little bit. The defense was great, but now they just come out and both sides of this defense and attack on Anubis. Stunning.
Yeah, you and I talked about this a lot on Sideshow's podcast. I know we're mentioning this a lot, but check it out. Like, Sideshow's making a lot of content right now. Catch up at Contenders to kind of get yourself caught up to where the regions are right now. We talked about how in this meta, like, how much flexibility you have. It's finally Chong6 in the booth.
Okay.
But how much flexibility you have as a DPS, I think, in this meta is insanely impactful because DPSs have to play tanks. They have to play Brigitte, who's like a pseudo-tank, pseudo-support. They have to play hit scan, and they have to play projectile on a lot of the situations. And I think that when you compare Youngjin, for example, has always been known as a flexible DPS player. He's stepping up to the task to play these new heroes, and he's really put a lot of effort into the Brigitte, and it shows. Whereas Godsby, for example, incredible McCree, right? In fact, much better than Youngjin in terms of statistics, right? And their past on the hit scan heroes. But when it comes to the Pharah, he's being defeated by Ding because KongDoo Panthera has the flexibility to put Ding on this projectile, right? Godsby on the projectile doesn't come up as big when you see him on the Brigitte. He's underperforming in terms of that matchup against Youngjin. And then with Glister in the lineup, when we're looking at Eichenwald even, for example, he's trying to run the Tracer. And it just feels like X6 is kind of pushed away from their comfort in all these moments, whereas KongDoo Panthera just looks smooth the entire time. It's like they're the universal remote, right? I mean, it works for everything. They have a plan and a strategy for every player, and it's like hero swaps don't feel bad for this team because they're all well-versed. Are any of them the best in the world at what they're playing? Not necessarily, but they're really good at it, and because they're so practiced at making these swaps happen, the coordination doesn't fall apart. Maybe the mechanics suffer a little bit here and there. You know, we know Decay's not the greatest Dragon Blade Genji in this tournament, not even top 3, but when the coordination is this good, you're able to make the call, kill Godsby's out of position, make these blades happen, you know, it works. It does work. And I feel like it's only going to get better over time. Like, I think this is not even KongDoo Panthera's final form. I mean, X6, you know, they had a specialist Sombra player who's also really good at Tracer, BQB, but he's gone. Timeboy, you know, one of their old Tracers, he's gone now as well. So Glister's got to step up and fill these roles, and it's tough. And is Decay even better at Genji than Glister? Like, that, we don't have even enough. I don't think that's even an objective statement anyone can make. But the coordination around Decay's Genji versus Glister's Genji today is better for Panthera. I think we can say that as a fact.
Absolutely. I mean, X6, you can see kind of just blank stares coming through. Doesn't seem like that much communication at the moment. Just trying to figure out what the game plan is going to be for Escort, because this is their last chance to extend it. See if they can go for that 5th and final round on Achilios, trying to force out the tiebreaker and upset KongDoo Panthera, but Chong6's going to be coming in. And I think that that's another thing that really is a cause for concern for X6 is that, you know, they lost on Eichenwald and on Nepal with Roar playing Reinhardt.
Yeah.
And he is just factually a weaker Reinhardt player than Jungshik. Jungshik is, you know, kind of like the one trick in that regard for them. Not that he can't play other things. You know, we'll see him play the Orisa, of course, but the Reinhardt is his main pick. He's kind of like Kaiser in that regard, where that's his bread and butter. That's his baby.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, he was on meta Athena during that era, and was one of the better Reinhardts of the old Reinhardt meta. It's actually, like, since then, we've only just now come back to a Reinhardt meta, so it's very important. And it's actually totally fine with the current Contenders rules to have players that are specifically one hero and a two-hero mainly meta, right? Reinhardt and the Winston. Orisa, you know, a much less skill-intensive hero, I think, in a lot of ways. It's really about the coordination around the Orisa that's more important.
Yes.
If we had Apex rule set where you can only sub once, for example, you wouldn't be able to have this type of player still have a successful career. So with subs available every map, you know, it's great to have a player who's just a Reinhardt specialist in a meta where you need a good Winston, you need a good Reinhardt. Roar's improved the Reinhardt, we know that. I mean, we've seen it. He had a few shaky moments today on the Shatters, especially on Nepal, but an Icon Ball with Youngjin as his duo partner, he dominated. We move into the third map, goes back to the Winston, and it's business as usual. I hope that X6 did not pick Rialto, and that we're not having Changshik in because of that.
That would be a pretty poor decision, I would think. It's going to be Junkertown.
I'm relieved.
Okay. So, yeah, Rialto almost certainly would have been a death sentence, given that we would just be seeing, you know, Ding coming through on the Pharah yet again, and just taking everybody out from the sky.
This is a
Junkertown.
This is a map that plays to both Godspeed and Glister's strength. So you've got that going for you. You've got a great Widow. You've got the stronger Genji on paper. The coordination, though, needs to catch up with X6 here versus KongDoo Panthera. They need to step up to the plate. For this match, it obviously is more important for Panthera. They need this win to get first place, whereas for X6, they're in playoffs no matter what.
Again, you gonna spam it again? Thank you.
Happy New Year!
Thank you very much, Rhea.
This is like his trademark. I don't know. I feel like it's always Rhea when this happens.
It's like spamming that. Oh, man. I'm going to hear that in my nightmares. They can hear it from outside. He's going to go say it to them now. He's just trying to tilt them.
Well, you know, I don't know if it's going to be an effective strategy.
The Korean Reinhardt's voice is so good, though.
Yeah, it is. I actually like all the
here we go.
voices.
KongDoo Panthera is going to be on the attack.
Okay, Reinhardt, Genji, Lazaria here, but no Ana in the mix. That may be a swap we see coming through eventually, but that's not really Luffy's bag right now in this meta. He's been running the Zenyatta with this almost every time. Youngjin showing his flexibility on this hero again. No Junkrat for X6, so it gets a little bit awkward here. They're going to have to rely on Glister on projectile here. Hanzo.
Yeah.
This is not something I expected. When I said they were playing to his strengths, this is not what I meant.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a wraparound from the backside. Ding. Get taken down. As they charge forward, Youngjin sneaking around.
He's like way back there.
In the back. It's a nice shot there onto Luffy, but now he's going to get left on. Youngjin trying to get that execution onto the Widow. Can't do it. Luffy takes down Bebe, but Changshik will be traded out as Glister has the Storm Arrows in. Godspeed taken out, though. Dashes through, finds that kill. Now it's just going to be right-click straight up into the face of Rhea. Takes him out of the mech.
Oh my God,
on the
Youngjin!
escape. Deflection there to keep himself alive. And now they can just go ahead, get a nice little stagger onto Rhea, push forward into point A with a massive time bank, nearly a Dragon Blade ready to go. You know that your Genji's doing something right when he almost has a Dragon Blade before your Hanzo has a Dragon Strike.
Yeah, I mean, he hit himself, came in for the dive, nearly got 2 kills, and went down to about 10 health. Koma was already there to catch him. Goes over there, pockets him. Koma's already nearly at that Valkyrie with all the heals he gave to Youngjin. Who, like you said, is at that blade pretty much already. They switch up the defense here. Godspeed's on the McCree, but uh-oh.
Yeah, the grab's just going to come through. Ding right now just going to get rezzed in. Dragon Blade in the back, flashbang, and that's going to be Youngjin getting shut down. Ding, however, does find 2 kills. Bebe and No Smite both fall, so the cart will keep moving forward unhindered for the moment. So they get a nice shutdown onto the Genji, but still a lot of damage to be dealt here by KongDoo as they bring up this cart in record time, 4.5 minutes. Over halfway through the streets phase, and you can see Changshik, he's already playing so far up, he's playing at the point B gate, getting ready for X6 to come back to try and defend.
Yeah, and you know what? X6 just might have to let this go.
Dragon Strike going to be coming through into the wall. letting them spread back. Youngjin dies yet again to Godspeed. Chongqing takes a little bit of damage now. It's an answering Dragon Strike. He's got 15 HP. And he will get taken down. Just gets flipped by the side. Blister follows up, gets rid of the K. Luffy going to fall after the res is used on the Youngjin. Seems like KongDoo Panthera are going to have to reset, and this is going to allow for X6 to posture forward aggressively to get a nice defense as Glister just goes ahead and takes down an opposing Hanzo.
Glister killed everyone, but most importantly, his Dragon Strike was better executed than what we saw from Ding, forcing that repositioning.
He's hungry for it. And they'll get him.
I mean, that was just really well played by Glister. So he comes up big. They do regain control of the cart. So massive win here on the side of X6 off the back of that Dragon Strike. Godspeed continues to maintain this line of sight advantage now on the McCree, making it difficult to approach. He can do so much burst with the Zenyatta he's paired against, I should say. Luffy going to be having to be careful about where he stands. Look at this, Godspeed's right above him.
Nice shots there on the Coma. Godspeed nearly takes him down. One more shot would do it. He manages to find it off screen.
The supports have to be closer, or else they're going to get picked like that by Godspeed, like I was saying.
Gets a double. The Hanzo going to be eliminated as well as Youngjin. They're picking that one up. Deadeye ready to go. Nothing having to be invested from the side of X6. Just holding on to these ultimates as KongDoo will be held at bay, just draining down this clock. Still, if they can get this completion, and then the next minute or so, they'll still have a nice time bank to make it through to point C.
The problem with Panthera right now is they're still running the Reinhardt Zarya, which just doesn't have any vertical ability to approach. So the high ground setup here for X6 can be broken maybe by a Dragon Strike, which is what they're trying to look for here.
Well, they have the grab just about. Okay, spraying out.
If they get on the ground, they can fight this.
We'll be dropping down. The barrier's going to be set up here. The Hulk coming through. Shield's going to be up. Mr. K just tries to gain some energy.
He wants that last percent. The barrier's stopping him so hard from getting any right click. He's got it now.
Dragon Strike comes down from Glister. Won't be finding much, but they do split Chongqing away from the rest of the team, but seems like he's going to be okay with that. Tries to go in for that pin. Will get taken down right before they get around the corner there from Luffy. The Transcendent's not going to be enough, and now the res has to be used. Rhea throws down that self-destruct. Youngjin finds Godspeed with a Dragon Blade, but Glister immediately flips to the side with the Storm Arrows and takes down his brother. The King tosses in that Graviton Surge. So they try to pick up some kills, but not really roping that many people in. Rhea will get knocked out of the mech. KongDoo Panthera is still struggling, trying to find some ground to stand on. It seems like Youngjin's going to be flipping over onto that Roadhog here.
I just want to point out one thing that happened in that fight from Youngjin, who was on the Genji. He avoided self-destruct, then killed a dead-eyeing McCree who was about to have the skull on him. Incredible mechanical play there. But unfortunately, the blade was pulled out a little bit too late. The fight was already lost, but watch that clip again, because that was insane what he was able to accomplish. Does have to make the switch, like you mentioned, but they still don't go to a composition that has any way to deal with Godspeed's McCree. Like, he's playing it almost like it's Spar. He's like, I'm ahead of you, I'm shooting behind the Reinhardt shield, what are you going to do?
Yeah, the hope is just basically going to be that they can get a hook onto him, but Chongqing just going to go down, keeps going aggressively in for these charges, despite the fact that, No Smite can just negate them completely. Just pop the shift and be fine.
Chongqing doesn't want to play Winston. I understand, but
of course not.
I think it's time to, because otherwise, even if you do play Winston, you're going to have some problems dealing with Godspeed with the Discord Orbs coming through, but you're not getting up there with the Reinhardt, and Godspeed has not been touched since Youngjin Dragon Bladed him earlier.
I mean, you can also just go for an Orisa on the attack. We have seen it. You have Youngjin there for the Roadhog. Just set him up for the hooks with the halt.
Yeah.
It's not very uncommon, so honestly, I think it might work out a little bit better, but it seems like he's still going to be looking for that Eye of the Kaiser play.
He's up on the high ground, but they're already
coming in,
repositioned.
Trying to drag them through, but Rhea not going to find anything. Cart going to be moving forward now as the barrier comes down from No Smite. Lockdown from Ding. Godspeed wraps around onto that high ground. Has a flashbang, eliminates him. Shots coming through. Just chunking out Youngjin, but will get taken down by Luffy. Chongqing in the meantime, still holding that shatter, still going to die. Luffy with the Transcendence not in position to keep him or Decay alive. And the cart's going to be halted yet again as OT starts ticking away. KongDoo Panthera, can they string a win out of this? The Hulk comes down. Youngjin still able to play a bit far forward. Has this whole hog ready to go. Dragon Strike going to be tossed in. Transcendence out by Bebe. Trying to deny that damage coming through, and they're going to be fine. Shatter comes down. Not sure if it caught really many of any.
Two, it looks like.
There's going to be Rhea getting pinned into the wall. Comes down. No Smite still going to be fine. Rhea out of the mech. Chongqing eliminated yet again, and now Youngjin going to go down. Decay's going to be the lone tank here. Chongqing does get res back through, but Glister finds an out shot there on the Ding as he tries to climb up onto the van. Dragon Strike in, finds two. Chongqing and Luffy go down. Coma shredded by that Orisa. And X6-Gaming will be able to hold just shy of point B despite the stomping start that KongDoo Panthera found.
Glister finally gets his moment. I feel like this was his game. He crushed on the Hanzo, and he had always positional advantage, so sure, it's a little bit easier when your opponent cannot approach you to hit those shots, but he did have a great game here, even on the tougher parts of the beginning there of the approach to B. But there's no depth to the play that we were seeing from KongDoo Panthera on this push. You can't make Reinhardt fly. He walks up onto the high ground using the staircase, and they've already moved to another place where he can't approach them. He forces his way in to try to get these shatters, dies doing so multiple times, eventually does get the shatter, while the rest of his team is dead because he can't peel for them because he's Reinhardt. The barrier only extends so far. And as much as, you know, we talk about how Changshik's a great Reinhardt, sometimes it's time to change, sometimes it's time to play a different tank. He held that Earth Shatter for so long, and in those moments you always feel like, well, I've got to get value out of this. It took me so long to build it, and this could win us the game. But when the enemy team knows that that's your only play, that's your only initiation, that's your only plan, they just avoid you. The staircase we just saw there on screen, they just went down it and went up somewhere else. And then Glister and Godspear just taking pot shots off the high ground. No one can threaten them. It is difficult to even use a Winston here. The Orisa pick you talked about could at least maybe potentially pull Godspear off of the high ground, then they could win the fight on the ground. But the Reinhardt there was just, simply put, like, ineffective, unfortunately, for Changshik. He's going to still be running it here on defense. They're not running the Orisa at all. And KongDoo Panthera is kind of making a statement here of like, well, we think Reinhardt Zarya is good on every map. And I think it is, but is it the best on every map? Probably not. Some experimentation potentially, but hey, let's see how it works out.
We'll see if they can have as smashing of a defense as we saw from X6 there. To start things off, Godspeed coming up over the top, looking for the shot. Just gonna miss it there. Able to take out Coma. It seems like he might just have a very fast flip coming through. What are we gonna get? It's gonna be back to the McCree.
Yeah, I mean,
so effective for them on that defense.
If you get to the other side of the Reinhardt shield, guess what? You're doing free damage. He's got a nice setup here on this high ground as well. He can find the supports past the Reinhardt shield, and that's what we saw earlier on the defense.
Playing up, ult coming down from No Smite. So a smattering of damage to be found. No kills yet. Goes low, Godspeed taking that right click to the face from Decay. He starts wrapping around. Glister is up top. Does spot out Ding. Pulls out the Storm Arrows. He's trying to eliminate the enemy Hanzo, but he dashes to the side. Himself alive here for the moment. But Youngjin going to be eliminated by Bebe. Ding finds Godspeed. Fluffy falls low, and Changshik's going to be taken down. Bebe finding 2 kills now. The res comes through onto the McCree. Res onto Roadhog as well to answer, but Coma gets punished for that one. He goes back down, but KongDoo Panthera is starting to crumble on this defense as Bebe just rips them to pieces. As the Zenyatta Discord Orb in onto Youngjin, doesn't stand a chance. Manages to get one onto Glister, but the cart is still moving forward.
It's still rolling forward. Godspeed is uncontested. He did die in that last exchange at the end, but the damage was already done. Glister holds the Dragon Strike, and KongDoo Panthera is going to have to stay inside. This is going to be non-contest.
Oh, they're pushing out.
Wow, this is
They are going to try for this one, despite the fact that the ults are still pretty far away, especially this Earth Shatter. Changshik moving forward.
Only the tank
Shove the Orisa back. That's going to be the halt in for the Dragon Strike. Decay getting shredded down. One hit away, and Bebe is able to follow up for that finishing blow. Transcendence coming in from Luffy yet again. Just a little bit too late to try to keep the Zarya alive, but does escort Coma forward for that res. Shield flips to the side. No self-destruct kills coming in for Rhea. The barrier is still set up just on the backside of the cart. Charge forward comes in from Rhea. Trying to push them away. Find some give. But it will be KongDoo Panthera coming up with 2 kills, knocking Rhea out of that mech. So it seems like they will be able to hold here.
And they do.
So go ahead and clean up the tank line.
The one argument you can make for this, I think, is if they want to keep this comp, this is the best place to fight. Right outside this gate, fight on the cart while they're trying to contest one single point where they can't circumvent your composition as well. Godspeed can make the switch, try to use the exterior area, you know, around and above here to deal with this Changshik Reinhardt, but that's the argument you can make, and in the longer fight, they do build the ultimate, so a huge risk for Panthera, but it does pay off big time because they do come up with the win on the fight. They do come up with these ultimates now. Oh-ho-ho!
From the side coming through, that's going to be the Earth Shatter locking down 2 pin out on No Smite, and he's going to die in transit as Ding just snipes him out. Changshik goes low, but the pocket comes in for the Mercy. They will keep him alive, but Youngjin's going to die. And now you can see KongDoo Panthera, 5 ultimates available as Godspeed and Rhea both fall. Res back in onto Youngjin, so he is still here. No run back necessary. A minute remaining. X6. Will they get full held after yet again another fantastic defense
well,
from them.
This is the moment where KongDoo Panthera can really control this game. Ult efficiently. Rhea has an opportunity to be a star here. He can eat the Graviton Surge. That would be massive.
That
Easier
or the
said
Dragon
than done.
Strike.
Yeah, or both, you know, depending on how it all works out, if they use them one at a time. But that's really the biggest play that X6 can make right now. They use the Infrasight.
Jin jumped on, takes a breather, keeps himself alive. Graviton's gonna come down. He gets the hook in onto Bebe.
The combo.
Roki and Baby both gonna be eliminated. Now Klister getting taken out by the enemy Hanzo. Rhea shredded down out of the mech. No Smite's gonna die. That might just be it. They're looking for the stagger here onto Rhea, trying to delay him, keeping him from jumping off the center of the map as long as they can. They'll get the kill. X6-Gaming have to storm their way back over onto the cart right now with just 6 seconds remaining. Can they get the tag? Godsby has swapped over onto the Tracer. Looking for the hook. The Transcendence is there, but he's pinning him. Jonchix is taking him all the way down the lane. Says, you're not getting over to that cart alive. Bebe will get eliminated on the backside. Youngjin finds two with the whole hog. Get over here, Rhea. Not today, says Youngjin. Ropes him back in. The self-destruct comes out, but it does not matter. X6-Gaming yet again execute a wonderful defense like we saw in Eichenwald. They do it on Junkertown, but they just cannot get the ball rolling on attack, and KongDoo Panthera take it all the way home with a 3-1 win.
They will be undefeated this season. They were able to match what Element Mystic did last season. They go lossless into playoffs. They will take the first seed, guaranteed. Very well played here by KongDoo Panthera. No way Runaway could pass them now. They won that match directly. And what great plays here from the tank line. It ended up being, I didn't have faith that they could come out of the gates, buy time, use their Reinhardt composition in the open, and make that defense work. But they did. They gained ult advantage there, and they held it. And if you can hold point A like that, the respawns come in so slow. You have to walk so far to get to the contestation point. And it was just like KongDoo put a giant do not touch sticker onto the payload with the Chongshik charge of Bebe pushing him away during Transcendence. It was beautiful coordination. This team looks fierce. This team looks unkillable at the moment. They already defeated Runaway. They crushed our defending champions. And they're doing it with different comps every time now. I mean, it's not just the GOATS comp. It's not just Reinhardt Zarya. We're seeing Dive. We're seeing other aspects. And, you know, when we started Season 1, KongDoo Panthera had this many fans in the crowd. We had full crowds for them. It declined throughout the season because they showed that they were no longer the KongDoo that made Apex history. But now, it's a totally different roster. And I think they've nearly reached the legacy of their old squad here. Defeating defending champions, going undefeated in groups. It's been a while since KongDoo Panthera could say that they did that. But tonight, they made it happen. And for X6, it's going to be a long ride home with a lot of discussion about how to play this playoff match where they will likely face Element Mystic in the first round.
Yeah, which is something really rough to have to think about after losing right here. Both